So what do we have here, David?
And what we have here is some members of the Boletus family. And I'll just get this big tall one out first. Oh. How we know it's Boletus is it has this tubes or sponge underneath, rather than the gills of an ordinary mushroom. This is actually Boletus edulis. You probably know that as a sep, or if you bought it dried and sliced, or sliced and dried, as porcini. So this one feels a bit soft, and I suspect when we cut into it, it'll have some maggots in the middle, so we won't really be able to use it.
Is that the normal size of a sep? Because I always think of a sep as being quite little, really.
Okay, they start from very little and they go to the size of a dinner plate. The little ones tend to be better and they're harder and firmer. And see, there's one here which looks really perfect. And we'll dig that one out in a minute. That gnawing on the top, that's actually not a slug. That'll be a squirrel that's had a go at that. But we'll take that one out and see what that's like inside.
But it's still okay to eat,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
with the squirrel nibbling?
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, no problem at all. So, if you're going to eat this, what we need to do is just peel this sort of spongy bit off. It wouldn't hurt you to eat it. It's just not a very pleasant texture. And actually, straight away on this one, we can see that it's got loads of maggots in it. So what I would do on this is I'm going to just cut the.
So really no good for anything.
Well, the stalk might be all right, and just by cutting it in half and splitting it open, we can see if there's any maggots in the stalk. And what we can do, we can either use the stalk or we can take it home and dry it, and the maggots shrivel up and drop out, so then you can use the dried version. So it's a shame to waste it. It's a very, very short season, just probably 2 or 3 weeks.
And what time of year would that be?
End of August, beginning of September.
And this kind of weather, perfect conditions for mushrooms?
Perfect, yeah, perfect. They love this sort of mizzle, drizzle. It's a little bit cold at night, but they're
still quite warm in the day.
Yeah, and that just means that's perfect for them to grow in. Always, we're under some pine trees, and that nice bit of grassiness. They like the pine. They grow on the root of the pine tree to sort of feed on. This is your perfect location for them.
And what about this one here then? Is this a member of the same family?
It's exactly the same.
Looks so different though.
Yeah. Oh. It's exactly the same, both Boletus edulis, and this one, you can feel how solid it and feel how heavy it is actually. You'd be really surprised how much.
It's got a lot of weight
big,
to it.
Yeah. So we'll trim that one in a minute, and then we can see if there's any maggots in it, but I don't think there will be. So that'll be really, really nice.
So both of these are safe to eat?
Yes.
And how do we know that? What's your sort of advice when it comes to eating mushrooms and staying away from some of the dangerous ones?
Okay, if in any doubt, don't. That's my advice. We've picked on, I picked on the sep because it's fairly easy to identify. There are members of the same family that have red scaling on them. When you cut them, they go blue, so avoid all of those. That's fairly straightforward, and it's in the top 5 of sort of chef's selection of great mushrooms to eat. There seems no point in picking mushrooms that's got no texture or no taste, and this one has both fantastic texture and a fantastic taste.
And what sort of things do we need to bring with us? I mean, I see you've got a penknife there.
Well, I've got a penknife, mushroom knife, curved blade, which just enables me to peel it, and then it's got a brush on it so I can brush the rubbish off.
And how much would they be to buy? I mean, sort of specialist retailers?
Yeah, somewhere between £10 and £20. And then I've got a wooden trog. Oops. So we can, when we clean them, we can put them in that. So if you haven't got a trog, one of the blue mushroom containers is fine. What you don't want is a plastic bag. It's just going to make them all sweaty and they'll get broken up. You need to put it down, they break. So something firm that you can carry them home in.
So why do we need to trim it before we take it with us? Okay,
what I don't want to do is really put the dirt in the trog and then it falls off and it gets into all the other mushrooms. So I like to put everything cleaned in there. So what I'm going to do, what I want to do is get the minimum amount of rubbish off. So I'm going to peel it just like I would sharpen a pencil. So
almost sounds like it's a bit of wood you're shaving there.
Yeah. So you can see how fine I can get the shavings. So
and these are obviously very popular with chefs at the moment. So what kind of things could you use to cook with them?
Okay, I mean, they're beautiful when they're this firm, just sliced raw as you would a truffle, or just pan fried with a little bit of butter, finish with a bit of cream, and just put it with a nice rare char grilled fillet steak. But they've got such a fantastic flavour and texture.
Can we taste some raw?
Yeah, of course. but they need to be firm to be eaten raw. So that was nice and clean. Now I got the minimum off and got the maximum on that mushroom. That's a good 300 grams. So I think we should go down to the butcher's and get a couple of nice fillet steaks.